ドジャースの大谷翔平投手が663日ぶりに投打同時出場を果たしました。投手としては最速161キロを計測し、1回を投げて2安打1失点。打者としては2打席連続でタイムリーを放ち、チームの3連勝に大きく貢献しました。その姿に周囲からは驚きの声が上がっています。試合後にはバッテリーを組んだウィル・スミス捕手をはじめ、マックス・マンシー内野手、ベン・カスペリアス投手らが大谷の登板についてそれぞれの感想を語りました。マンシー選手は大谷が1回の投球を終えた直後にそのまま打席に立ったことに触れ、
水も飲まずにですよ。本当に驚異的でした
と振り返りました。これらのインタビューの様子は日本語字幕付きでご紹介いたします。
Right after he walked off of the mound, he didn't even go in the dugout. Javier had his equipment for him, and he transforms from pitcher to leadoff hitter. And heads up there to lead things off with this order presented by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers. Dave Roberts is saying before the game, this is what these guys did when they were in high school. It's what a few guys did when they were in college. Nobody does it at this level. I mean, this is just absurd. Up there to lead off this game after pitching the top of the first inning.
I mean, again, you know, has he done it before? Yes. But has he come back after not throwing for over a year and a half, 2 years, and then coming right in and then I pitch? He didn't even go talk to any of the coaches. The trainers didn't say a word to anybody. It's give me my stuff so I can go hit. And here he is.
Shohei, not just the pitcher, but the National League leader with 25 home runs and getting hot again. He's reached base 8 of his last 9 times up, 5 out of his last 6 with a pair of home runs. And Shohei, who had full counts on 3 of the 5 hitters that he faced in that first inning, has a full count of his own here at the plate.
How about pitch, get a hit, steal a base, like just do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, variety pack. Resuming his two-way duties tonight. Resuming doing what has always been considered impossible. Fighters drafted him. Hideki Murakami was the manager there. He was the one who first encouraged Ohtani to dream big. Blaze a new trail. It's never been done, but there's no reason you can't do it. Ohtani said, let's do this. You figure it would have been celebrated, but there was pretty much exclusive resistance when he said he was going to try to be a two-way guy in Japan. And a 1-0 from Cease. He smacks the ball to left center field, and he's tied it up. Well, Ohtani's given up a run, and now he's knocked in a run. Back to square one.
Well, after striking out 5 of the first 6 hitters, the Dodgers have had 2 doubles this inning. Both balls that aren't bad pitches. Low and away. Pages goes to right field. Shohei goes to left center.
Take it where it's pitched.
Right? Easy to say, difficult to do.
You know, just to wrap up that thought on Ohtani, when he announces he's going to do the two-way thing in Japan, you figure it'd be like, oh gosh, this is so cool. The first thought was there's no way that he can do that. And then the bigger thought was there's no way he should do that. Because the thought was you couldn't properly do what you're supposed to do in terms of practice if you are split between both. And Ohtani with 2 on and 2 out. Pages at second, Edman at first. Ohtani climbs the ladder and golfs this one into right center field, a base hit. Tatis throwing to third, not in time. Ohtani back to first, his second run batted in. 4 in the inning, 5-2.
This ball up in the zone, and Shohei doesn't get it really well, but he gets it well enough. 87 miles an hour off the bat, but good enough for an RBI.
Ohtani's 7 of his last 9. On base 10 of his last 12 times up. Now, all the different versions of Shohei Ohtani on display in this game tonight. He starts his first game as a Dodger. He hits leadoff, stats with Lowe's. All the numbers on Ohtani's night where he turns to the mound. Gives up a run in his 1 inning of work. At the plate, he's gone 2 for 3 and driven in 2.
And you take a look at those numbers, too, from the pitching side. Okay, yeah, you want to look at them and they're important, but the most important thing for me is how does he wake up tomorrow? How does he feel tomorrow? Yes, you can talk about, well, he's thrown the sim games and he's kind of mimicked it, but he didn't have the adrenaline factor. He didn't have the, the body's amped up, and it will be different when he wakes up tomorrow. You just hope that everything clicks and is good.
Here's what Ohtani threw tonight.
And when you look at this, well, I'll call it the spray chart. We talked about it during the game. A lot of misses on the glove side, and for me, that is just trying to do too much, trying to be excited, just pulling the ball, whether it was the sweeper, the fastball, just a little bit of extra effort, and that's where that adrenaline factor, may have been a little different than what he's experienced in those sim games.
And to your point about seeing how he feels tomorrow being the biggest thing, what comes next, Dodgers don't really know because it's going to be dictated by what you said and then the conversations that they have about that. So going to kind of learn as they go in this unprecedented thing. He's going to pitch tonight. He's going to see how he feels tomorrow. They're going to talk about it and then decide what comes next, both in terms of the pitching plan and when days off are needed from DHing. We talk about pitching being the thing that he's always loved the most, and right now that's especially true. He's not liking this hitting thing at the very moment. The life plan that he wrote when he was in high school, we've referenced a few times, the whole thing was about his pitching. So just kind of give you an idea of how far back this goes, his love of pitching and how much his identity is built up in it. He didn't necessarily see himself being a hitter beyond what everybody does it, coming up through Little League, does it in high school. His vision for himself, and he had a very particular vision that he was planning to manifest, was all pitching. Conforto leads off this 8th for LA. Edman and Ohtani to follow. David Morgan delivers, and Conforto slaps it foul. Michael's really looking forward to watching Ohtani pitch tonight. Kirby Yates gets ready for the 9th inning. Said he, like a lot of the guys, just felt like he was a fan again. Wanted to watch him pitch. He's like, and then I just want to see that changeover, him going from pitching to leading off the next inning. It's something different when it's got all these big leaguers wide-eyed and watching them just like the rest of us.
Yeah, there aren't many guys that when you're playing at that level that you're going to look across the field or down in the dugout and just kind of say, wow. But there's a handful. And one of the guys, look, there isn't anybody that doesn't think that Shohei is something special. There was I'll go back to watching Barry Bonds hit, for a period of 3 or 4 years where there's no way that there was anybody better. And when you watch Shohei, this is the big league level, and he's literally making it look like he's that ridiculous high school player that just dominates everybody in high school, but he's doing it at the highest level. And it's not just a novelty, he's doing it and dominating, which you just go like, really? What do we got going here? Take it another level, he's underpaid. I could go down a rabbit hole of just talking about what this guy means to the game, what he brings to the game as far as interest. You don't even have to be a fan if you're going to watch it.
You talk about the contract. Yeah, when you first saw the numbers, it was like, oh my goodness.
I thought you were going to do Iglesias.
OMG, yeah. But you know what? It's invested in nightly joy for Dodger fans and for baseball. They say it's easy to spend somebody else's money. Mr. Walter, I know 700 was very well thought out, but what it's brought is so much more than just what he does between the lines in terms of numbers and wins and losses. There's something spectacular about wondering what he's going to do next. And that's one of the beauties of watching baseball, is having a game every day, whether you have Ohtani on your team or not. What's going to happen today? The possibilities are endless when this guy's on your team.
I know for me, I'll go back even to spring training. I want to go back and watch him hit off a tee. I want to just go watch what his program is to get ready to go play a game. Like, that's crazy. I've never done that with anybody. Hey, what time is Shohei going to hit? I want to make sure I'm in the cage to go watch this routine.
You're not wowed easily.
No. Like, I mean, I'm throwing around compliments like manhole covers. That's me. But this is ridiculous.
Really an electric crowd. Tons of Padre fans here. Glad you're able to stick around and join us. I get it. The outcome isn't what any of us had wanted, but as Bob had just mentioned, this is a longer 4-game set. But really the headline story, I think, across baseball today was, as you pointed out,
They were very conservative. There was some talk about him possibly coming back last year. There was talk about him being available earlier in the season. And then all of a sudden, they said, no, there's no reason to rush this situation. That being said, he can't go on the IL, right? He can't be sent down to do rehab assignments. So he needs to start throwing his innings somewhere. The Dodgers have needed innings, so maybe he gets pushed into action a little sooner than some would have expected. So not a huge surprise not to see the great command here tonight. What we did see was the stuff. The velocity was there at 99 miles an hour. We know he's got the split finger, but we know that the command is not going to be what you would think at this point. It's going to take time for that to develop, and the Dodgers and Ohtani are probably just going to have to write it out, Mike, in terms of trying to continue to stretch him out in these situations as an opener because you want to keep him as a designated hitter, right? But it is going to be interesting to watch his development and see how many innings he can go and how quickly that command comes without putting additional pressure or putting them behind the hole.
Well, there's no team in baseball who's run out more starting pitchers than the Dodgers have, so they do, to your point, need the innings. And as Dave Roberts said, the manager of the Dodgers, said, look, we got to get him out here when he says he's ready and he feels comfortable, and that will dictate what happens next. So that set the table for what was an exciting night, as Bob pointed out.
It was exciting to see him back out there. Obviously, he's incredible in the batter's box, but I think for all of us to see him get back on the mound was a really cool moment for all of us, and stuff looked electric. But when you haven't pitched in that long of a time and you don't really get a chance to do any rehab games, maybe the command's not going to be there. And that's kind of what we saw tonight.
You've seen him do it with the Angels, but to be on this side of it, was it a bit surreal?
Yeah, we always understood how hard it was to pitch and then come in and hit, but seeing him come off the mound and not even go into the dugout and put I don't know, it kind of hit a little different, seeing it from our side now, being man, it's incredible what he's able to do. And, he threw 25, 30 pitches, whatever it was in the first inning, and then didn't even get a drink of water, just put his helmet on and went right into the batter's box. That's really hard to do.
So were you surprised at how well he performed?
I mean, I'm always surprised by him. He never stops surprising me. So it's, we'll see how it progresses out for him.
And when you think about that, not only is it a big lift for him, it's a big lift for the rest of the team to see him do that.
Yeah, absolutely. His, we obviously think very highly of him, and so to get him back, doing something that he loves to do, which is pitch, it's fun for us.
Were you surprised to see 100 up on the radar gun?
No, because we were seeing 95 and 96 in his sim games, and when you start packing the stands a little bit, you get that extra adrenaline. So, not too surprised by that.
Did you forget? It's been 2 years. You forget what he looks like as a pitcher?
Well, he's different now. He's pitching out of a windup. So he didn't pitch out of the windup before. So yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's been almost 2 years since he's been on the mound. It was incredible stuff. I know it's been a long time, so just to be part of that, I got to see a little bit down in the bullpen just before I started getting going. So, he's going to be a huge piece for our team on the mound, coming down the stretch, and I think it was a good first step for him.
この日の試合中、大谷翔平選手が三塁に進塁した際、パドレスのマニー・マチャド選手と笑顔で言葉を交わすシーンが見られました。試合後、マチャド選手はその会話の内容について明かしました。注目されたのは、投手、大谷翔平選手と打者、マチャド選手の対決で見られた、疑惑のハーフスイングの場面です。もしスイングと判定されていれば、空振り三振となっていた可能性もありました。この判定について、大谷選手が4回に三塁走者として出塁した際、マチャド選手に
振ってたでしょ
と尋ねたということです。これに対し、マチャド選手は
最近はずっと判定が厳しかったし、なかなかコールがもらえなかったからね。たまにはいいだろって感じで返したよ。
と、互いに笑い合うようなやり取りがあったことを振り返りました。また、大谷翔平選手の投球については、
特に驚きはなかった。彼が全力で来ることは分かっていたし、それに見合う力を持っていることも理解していた。
と話し、
マウンドに立つ彼の姿を見るのはやっぱり楽しかった。特に全力で最高の相手と勝負している姿は本当に特別な瞬間だった。
と称賛の言葉を送りました。最後に、
今日は彼から打点を奪えたし、それで十分だよ。
と、結果には満足げな表情を見せていました。ご視聴ありがとうございました。これからも大谷選手のさらなる活躍から目が離せません。チャンネル登録と高評価をよろしくお願いします。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。